All right, good morning, my beautiful people. How are you? Thanks so much for tuning in to the ERGJ Listen to Black Wild Sheep book club, and we are going through the book, The 48 Laws of Power. So hope you guys are doing well. I know you're just waking up and getting ready to start your day. So good morning. Okay, today's episode is brought to you by Core Oil. That's right, Core Oil. They are a 4-pack of toothbrushes, black-owned and manufactured as well, right here in the Atlanta area. Of course, you're going to wash your teeth anyway. They're going to brush your teeth anyway. The question is, are you going to practice what you preach by recirculating your dollar right back in within your very own community? Core Oil, get your pack today, $5, and we actually are doing shipping as well. So they are now on sale and ready to go. You know, you don't want to get these anymore. Nope, you don't want to get stuff like this. Nope, you want to go ahead and get the Core Oil and support your very own. All right, we got a couple things that are coming up. We have tonight, we have the Dow 30 investment session, so you can actually register for that. Go ahead and get that Dow 30, where we're going to be talking about the 30 most significant stocks in the market. And so you can actually sign up for that and be a part of what we're going to do tonight. We also have tonight as well the what do we have tonight? We have the Club Millie presentation plan as well. So if you've been wondering what the Club Millie is all about, that's going to be going on tonight, where you can actually join in and find out everything you need to know about Club Millie. We're going to be doing that tonight as well. So we got a Dow 30. That's an investment session. We got Club Millie as well. And then tomorrow we have another Club Millie plan presentation. And then we also have the CPA that's coming to talk to us about how you can turn your lifestyle into a tax deduction. So those are some things that are coming up as well that you don't want to miss out on. You want to make sure that you're a part of. And you can get all that information at www.ergj.net. That's www.ergj.net. Well, today we're actually going through the 48 Laws of Power. That's the book that we're going through here, and we are going over the law number 22. That's right. So what we're doing here is we're learning strategy. That's right, strategy. So we're learning how we can actually make understand these strategies when they are applied against us, and also understand how we can apply them for ourselves to put us in a position of power. That's right. We're trying to put ourselves in position of power at all times. And so I know you don't have a lot of time. I don't have a lot of time. Law number 22. Let's get it. So law number 22 says this. You want to use the surrender tactic. Transform weakness into power. Use the surrender tactic. Transform weakness into power. So here's your judgment. It says, when you are weaker, never fight for honor's sake. Choose surrender instead. Good morning, Crystal. How are you? Surrender gives you time to recover, time to torment and irritate your conquerors, time to wait for his power to wane. Do not give him the satisfaction of fighting and defeating you. Surrender first. By turning the other cheek, you infuriate and unsettle him. Make surrender a tool of power. So make surrender a tool of power. Now, I was talking about how you can apply this to your life and how you can recognize when it's being applied to you. One place that I actually apply to my life all the time is with those people who are just stubborn. You know, they're the type of people that are just, they never realize when they're wrong. They always think that they're right, and they have to come around to being wrong or come around to not being right. So I just always tell them, hey, you're right. I go ahead and surrender the argument. Hey, you're right. You got it. Go ahead. Go ahead and try it out or whatever. I go ahead and surrender. There's no use fighting them because they're stuck on stupid. They're stuck on what they think is going to be the right thing for them, and they're going to have to figure that out along the way. So I use that surrender tactic as well. Yeah, make it a tool of power. So I use it a lot of times when people want to have those arguments, those silly arguments, those petty arguments. I just let them have it. So what I've done, I've learned how to use the term "you're right," and I just say it, "You're right," because that's what they want to do. They want to feel as if they won, so let them win. Even though you know you're right, just go ahead and let them win, and then eventually they come back like, "No, I was wrong, dog." And that's just how it is. So no sense arguing with them. Let them be right and keep it moving. This is going to put you in a position of power. So here are your keys to power today. Goes as such. What gets us into trouble in the realm of power is often our own overreaction to the moves of our enemies and rivals. That overreaction creates problems. We would have avoided had we been more reasonable. Everybody put in the comments below, be more reasonable. It's something about coming across reasonable people. Reasonable man or woman, and so they don't really overreact to things that happen. They are reasonable. It also has an endless rebound effect, for the enemy then overreacts as well, much as the Athenians did in the millennials. It is always our first instinct to react, to meet aggression with some kind of aggression. But the next time someone pushes you and you find yourself starting to react, try this. Do not resist or fight back, but yield and turn the other cheek. Bend. So this is a very simple concept that you probably have read in the Bible. It says that turn your other cheek. Don't return an eye for an eye. So this is a very simple concept that's been translated here to something we've probably heard in our life before when we talk about turning the other cheek. So basically, what we're saying is just surrender. Let them win. Let them have it. No sense in just reacting with more aggression. That's going to cause more and more scuffle. You can actually just kill that noise by just go ahead and letting them win. So you'll find that this often neutralizes their behavior. They expected, even wanted you to react with force. And so they are caught off guard and confounded by your lack of resistance. By yielding, you in fact control the situation. By yielding, you in fact control the situation. And how many of you guys know that when you are in control of the situation, you are in a position of power? When you control the situation, you are the one that's in the position of power. All right, so by yielding, you in fact control the situation because your surrender is part of a larger plan to lull them into believing they have defeated you. This is the essence of the surrender tactic. Inwardly, you stay firm, but outwardly, you bend. Inwardly, you stay firm, but outwardly, you bend. Deprived of a reason to get angry, your opponents will often be bewildered instead, and they are unlikely to react with more violence, which would demand a reaction from you. Instead, you are allowed the time and space to plot the counter moves that will bring them down. In the battle of the intelligent against the brutal and the aggressive, the surrender tactic is the supreme weapon. It does require self-control. So everybody put in the comments below self-control. This tactic is going to require self-control. And so on our midday time, we're talking about self-control. We're talking about getting control of our emotions. If you're going to apply this tactic, this is a very powerful tactic. It's going to require you to practice self-control. Those who genuinely surrender give up their freedom and may be crushed by the humiliation of the defeat. You have to remember that you only appear to surrender, like the animal that plays dead to save its hide. We have seen that it can be better to surrender than to fight. Faced with a more powerful opponent and assured defeat, it is often also better to surrender than to run away. Running away may save you for a time being, but the aggressor will eventually catch up with you. If you surrender instead, you have the opportunity to coil around your enemy and strike with your fangs from close up. Self-control. Right? So in 473 BC in ancient China, King Zhuoxan of Yi suffered a horrible defeat from the ruler of the Wu in the battle of Fujiao. Kojing wanted to flee, but he had the advisor who told him to surrender and to place himself in the service of the ruler of Wu, from which position he could study the man and plot his revenge. Deciding to follow this advice, Kojing gave the ruler all of his riches and went back to work in his conqueror's stables as the lowest servant. For 3 years, he humbled himself before the ruler, who then, finally satisfied of his loyalty, allowed him to return home. Inwardly, however, Kojing had spent those 3 years gathering information and plotting revenge. When a terrible drought struck Wu and the kingdom was weakened by its inner turmoil, he raised an army, invaded, and won with ease. That is the power behind surrender. It gives you the time and the flexibility to plot a devastating counter blow. Had Kojing run away, he would have lost this chance. So there's some power in this tactic of using the surrender tactic. There's some power in transforming your weakness if you are in a weak position to transforming it into a place of power, right? So we're kind of learning that here. So when the foreign trade began to threaten Japanese independence in the mid-19th century, the Japanese debated about how to defeat the foreigners. One minister, Miyasashi, wrote a memorandum in 1857 that influenced the Japanese policy for years to come. I am therefore convinced that our policy should be to conclude friendly alliances, to send ships to foreign countries everywhere and conduct trade, to copy the foreigners where they are at their best and so repair our own shortcomings, to foster our national strength and complete our armaments, and so gradually subject the foreigners to our influence until in the end, all the countries of the world know the blessing of perfect tranquility and hegemony is acknowledged throughout the globe. That is a brilliant application of the law. Use surrender to gain access to your enemy. Use surrender to gain access to your enemy. Learn his ways Insinuate yourself in him with him slowly. Outwardly conform to his customs, but inwardly maintain your own culture. That's what we haven't been doing as a people, right? We haven't been maintaining our own culture. Eventually, you will emerge victorious. For while he considers you weak and inferior and takes no precautions against you, you are using the time to catch up and surpass him. This soft, permeable form of invasion is often the best, but the enemy has nothing to react against, prepare for, or resist. And had Japan resisted Western influence by force, it might well have suffered a devastating invasion that would have permanently altered its culture. So surrender can also offer a way of mocking your enemies or turning their power against them, as it did with Brecht. Milan Kundera's novel, The Joke, based on the author's experience in a penal camp in Czechoslovakia, tells the story of how the prison guards organized a relay race. Guards against prisoners. I think this is The Longest Yard. Yeah, The Longest Yard movie where he had the guards going up against the prisoners. So you got the guards going up against the prisoners. For the guards, this was a chance to show off their physical superiority. For the prisoners, knew they were expected to lose, so they went out of their way to oblige, miming exaggerated exertion while barely moving, running a few yards and collapsing, limping, jogging ever so slowly while the guards raced at full speed ahead. Both by joining the race and by losing it, they had obliged the guards obediently, but their over-obedience had mocked the event to the point of ruining it. Over-obedience, surrender, was here as a way to demonstrate superiority in a reverse manner. Resistance would have engaged the prisoners in a cycle of violence, lowering them to the guards' level. Over-obeying, though, the guards, however, made them ridiculous. Yet they could not rightly punish the prisoners who had only done what they was asked. Power is always in flux. Everybody write that in the comments below. Power is always in flux. Since the game is by nature fluid and an arena of constant struggle, those with power almost always find themselves eventually on the downward swing. What's going on, T-Bone? If you find yourself temporarily weakened, the surrender tactic is perfect for raising yourself up again. It disguises your ambition. It teaches you patience and self-control, key skills in this game. And it puts you in the best possible position for taking advantage. What's going on, Cyrus? For taking advantage of your oppressor's sudden slide. If you run away or fight back, in the long run, you cannot win. If you surrender, you will almost always emerge victorious. I think we should read that again, man. Some good stuff there. So power is always in flux. Since the game is by nature fluid and as an arena of constant struggle, those with power almost always find themselves eventually on the downward swing. If you find yourself temporarily weakened, the surrender tactic is perfect for raising yourself up again. It disguises your ambition. It teaches you patience and self-control, which are key skills in the game. And it puts you in the best possible position for taking advantage of your oppressor's sudden slide. If you run away or fight back, in the long run, you cannot win. But if you surrender, you will almost always emerge victorious. Oh, it's two different words, in flux. It's two different words. All right, so what we're talking about here is the surrender tactic, and I'll give you kind of an example of how I use this, especially when we're talking about disagreeable people. I just let them know that they're right. But I think there's some application here in a lot of different areas, especially if you find yourself, especially when it comes to like the boss-employee relationship. Hey, just go ahead and surrender. Let them have it. You know, it's much easier to fight another day. So it's the best position to strike, right? And revenge is best served cold, man. So here's your image. Here's what you want to imagine as relates to this particular tactic. It's an oak tree. It says the oak that resists the wind loses its branches one by one. And with nothing left to protect it, the trunk finally snaps. The oak that bends lives longer, and its trunk grows even wider. Its trunk growing wider, its roots deeper and more tenacious. So you want to be flexible. Everybody put in the comments below, be flexible. You want to learn how to bend. You know what I'm saying? You want to learn how to give in every now and then. Let them have it every now and then. You don't always have to be right. You know, just let them have it. Now you want to keep where you are on the inside, but sometimes you just got. It's better not to fight those fights. That's going to end up being a war of words leading to nowhere. Right? You got it. You got it. That's your thing. You go ahead and take care of that. Right? So there's times when we need to recognize when we can use this so that we can avoid confrontation or bring that confrontation down a notch. Here's your authority. You have heard that it has been said, an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. But I say unto you that you resist not evil. But whoever so shall smite thee on thy right cheek, turn to him the other also. And if any man will sue thee at the law and take away thy coat, let them have the cloak also. And whoever shall compel thee to go a mile, go with him 2 miles. And that's from the Bible, right? So again, this principle is actually in the Bible itself, where it's telling us to, it's giving us the indication that it's no longer a revenge factor. It's more of a surrender factor, a submission factor. It's kind of what's coming from the Bible itself. As it relates to that was Matthew chapter 5, verse 38 through 41. Makes me want to kind of read that today. But you want to be flexible. You want to be able to bend to your situation or make adjustments in your situation. Because at the end of the day, everybody has their own type of personality. And when we're talking about your oppressor, we're talking about your boss, we're talking about anything like that, it's kind of better to just let them have it than to go back and forth with them, because you can't win that battle. You know, you want to put yourself in position that you can win the battle, and then ultimately you can win the war. So want to make sure you do that as well. So this was chapter number 22. Again, that law is use the surrender tactic, transform weakness into power. And the best place that you can do that is actually do it in a place that you may be, which is what we're saying. It's easy to fight back after you surrender. When things have calmed down, when the spirits are low, it's hard to fight back when you haven't surrendered and you're just kind of fighting against some particular cause or something that you believe in. Sometimes it's a lot better just to say, hey, you got it, and you just come back a later date and then you address your concerns. Anyway, that's going to be our time here today for your New Black Wall Street Book Club, going through the 48 Laws of Power, guys. Hope that this has helped to make you more powerful today. Of course, today's episode is brought to you by Coral Oral, the toothbrushes. That's right, the Black-owned and manufactured toothbrushes here. And we actually are starting to take orders for these as we speak. Give us a call at 678-851-2400. That's 678-851-2400. Or just go ahead and inbox me if you'd like to get your pack of Black-owned toothbrushes. And here's the deal. You're going to brush your teeth anyway. So the question is, are you going to practice what you preach, which is to recirculate your dollar right back into your very own community by going ahead and making the switch to Core or toothbrushes? $5 for this pack. You give us a call at any point in time, and we can just drop that thing in the shipment and send it on off to you. So you say, like getting more bees with honey than vigor. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. All right. So we got a couple things coming up again. Tonight, we've got our Dow 30 investment session, and we also have the Club Millie plan presentation. So if you're liking what we're doing, you want to find out more about Club Millie, you may thinking about you considering joining, you just need some more information, then you want to go ahead and do that as well. What's the question, Miss Crystal? Or are you just putting that at the end? Was that a question? I thought that was a statement. So yeah, you want to go ahead and sign up for that so you get all the information that you need from Club Millie. What our goal is this year is to help 1,000 people save and invest $1,000 this year, and we want you to be one of those 1,000. We're in our first quarter of our movement. What time? It's going to be at 9 o'clock tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Yeah, Club Millie's representing here today as well. But yeah, it's going to be at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time that we can get all the information that you need as it relates to Club Millie, what we're doing there, and hopefully you can come be a part of it. And then tomorrow we have we do the presentation on Wednesday and Thursday, so tomorrow as well. But then we have our CPA coming to speak to us as well. So you want to go ahead and make sure you get signed up for that session where you're going to learn everything you need to know about your tax deductions. And then we'll be moving into the following week moving forward. So anyway, this is ERGJ. Your last statement didn't come up, Ms. Peters, so I don't know if you might have wrote something, but this is ERGJ, your certified financial educator and founder of New Black Wall Street. I just want to say, hey, you got the power, guys. You absolutely do have the power. And just remember this, it takes a village, and it starts with us. Let's build as we climb together. Got some new music.